Hi, first grade. Welcome to your last day of Measuring with Miss Fisher. Today we will measure the length of objects. How? We will use different tools to measure the length of objects. And why? Because it's important to be able to find the length of an object. Length. Say length. Length is a type of measurement. It tells how long or how wide something is. It has a start end and an end end. Unit of measure. Say unit of measure. A unit of measure is the type of measurement. We can measure speed, time, length, weight. Tool. Say tool. Tool is an item we use to measure with. We can use rulers, paper clips, stopwatches, cubes, tape measures. Compare. Say compare. Compare is when we estimate, measure, or note the similarities or differences between two or more things. We can compare whales and fish. We can compare numbers. We can compare weights of objects, and we can compare the different lengths of objects. Measure. Say measure. Measure is the unit of measurement of an object or objects. For this unit, we're going to measure the length of objects. All right, so today I'm going to measure an expo marker. That one right here. All right, I'm going to use my unit cubes, my ones units, and my square tiles. Ready? Me too. Let's go. So here is my paper that I measured yesterday. And here is my expo marker that I'm going to measure today. Now, let's measure it with let's use the tiles first. So I'm going to use my square tiles to measure my expo marker. Look, I have a gap right there. You see that? I need to push those two close together so they're touching. End to end. No gaps, no overlaps. All right, so that one goes just a little bit off. It's fine. My expo marker is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square tiles long. Now I'm going to measure it with the ones units, and I'm going to leave my tiles up there so you can see if I used more or less of these unit cubes, ones units. Do you think I'm going to need more ones units than I did square tiles? I think you're right. Now, they need to be touching, touching, touching. No gaps, no overlaps. And let's see, one more. All right, that looks about the same. Now let's see how many ones units I used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I used 13 ones units. How many square tiles did I use again? 5. Which one has more? Which one did I use more of? That's right, I used more of the ones units. Why? Why did I use more? Because they are bigger or smaller? Smaller. So, did I use fewer or more of the square tiles? Fewer. Why did I use fewer square tiles? Fewer than the ones units. Because they're bigger or smaller? Bigger. That's right. So now let's go write that on our assignment. All right, so here, just like yesterday, we have 2 sentence stems and a word bank. And we are going to write our answers in the blanks. I used blank unit cubes. How many unit cubes did I use? 13. So I'm going to write 13 in the blank. I used 13 unit cubes. So I used 13 unit cubes. Is that more or less? More or less than the square tiles? More. I used more. I used more unit cubes because they are bigger or smaller? Smaller. Okay. What was that? That was crazy stuff. Did you see that? Okay. It did it again. It just doesn't want me to leave my R right there. Okay, picking up my mouse. All right. Now, what about my square tiles? I used more or less square tiles? Less. I used less square tiles because they are bigger or smaller? Bigger. You use less of the bigger tool. You're going to use more of the smaller tool. Got it? Good. Now you are going to measure your reading book using square tiles and one's unit cubes. Then write how many of each tool you used and then compare. Compare. Did you use more or less? And then you are going to tell me why. Did you use more or less? Because it's bigger or because it's smaller? If you don't have this book in your desk, like if you're at home, you can use any book. Any book you can measure with your ones units. And then you're going to measure that same book with your square tiles. If you don't have cubes and square tiles, then you can use beans and macaroni or whatever, as long as it's the same length or the same size. Then tell me if you used more unit cubes because they are blank or less square tiles because they are blank. Fill in the blanks just like we did on my assignment with my marker. And then, more and fewer. We're going to watch a very quick, very cute video about more and fewer. What did you learn today? Length, unit of measure, tool, compare, measure. And you also had to tell me why you used more and why you used less of a certain tool. Because they are either bigger or they're smaller. Have a great day, boys and girls. See you tomorrow.